team could use that right now. I'd like to think of this as our first date.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
you're killing me, Larry Davis. Uh, how are you, my friend?
I'm fine. I just overslept. I came in and sat down and went right to sleep.
I don't blame you.
Right.
I'm so tired sometimes and boring, really, that I have fallen asleep shaving my face. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, no, it has. That's how boring I am, and so that's why I had to grow a beard because it was getting dangerous. Me and the sleep shaving, it is. It's a dangerous thing that no one should do. Really, you shouldn't shave while you're asleep. It's bad.
no,
It's bad for you.
no.
So Rob Sturble is in Hawaii, and
Oh,
when you're in Hawaii, I think you might have better things to do than to tune in to Show Off Show. But I was secretly hoping that he might swing by, and also Scott Barton is caught up in the robotics thing, and
oh,
I don't know where Melanie is. It seems to me like she might have had something she had. I don't remember what, but or she may not be coming anymore at all. I don't know anymore with people. I don't begin to understand it. Uh, uh, I don't. So, but you're here, and
I'm here. I haven't found anything to sing yet, but
well, uh,
I'm here.
you are here. You good times and bad times. You've seen them all, and my dear, you're still
I'm still
here.
here. Hey, look at you.
Sometimes it's 40 people, sometimes it's one lonely queer. Cause I'm here. Me, not you.
I'm a lonely one too.
Are you lonely?
A little, a little.
I
Um, it's just it's a crazy time. It's
Why is it crazy?
uh, well, my guy has been ill for the last 3 years, and I just barely get to see him. So, but you
That's
know,
hard.
yeah, I see him once a week and uh, for a couple hours, and that's
What do
good.
you
I talk
do?
to him every day, but that's fine.
What do you do when you're lonely? What do you do when you're up late at night being lonely? What do you do?
I sleep. I'm not up.
Oh,
I
all right.
I watch TV and fall asleep,
Hmm. That sounds a lot like what I do.
or go on Zooms, and there's a couple that I go on, and then uh, talk to people on the telephone when they call me, and when I hang up, I sit there thinking I'm going to get up and go get something to eat and fall asleep before I can get up, and then I have to wait till the next morning.
Do you like phone calls?
Phone calls? Uh,
Because I do.
I like phone calls, but I talk and I could fall asleep sometimes while I'm talking because there's nothing else to do. But
How did
I I like to watch videos as much as I can, or movies, and try to stay awake to watch them. But sometimes I fall asleep.
what do
I
you,
I went to Lyric tonight, and
how was that?
it was fun. It was fun. Uh, I overslept during the afternoon, and I woke up with a panic, run over there to sing. It was okay. It's kind of fun. They have a nice little band there now, so it's good.
I've been I guess a month ago. I went once. I want to go on Mondays, but there is something that is happening with my computer, and
Mm.
I can't figure it out. You know,
Oh.
and it's very disconcerting, and it takes a lot of time. And
Mm.
I don't understand, but what's happening? I don't understand why I can't access the Zoom app. It only
Mm.
lets me join on the browser, and when because of that, there are certain tools which are missing.
Mm.
For example, it won't do original sound for musicians, and that's kind of a key button. And
Mm.
so I have to find a way around that. And I think today I did. You could actually help me if you want to, just for a moment. Uh, could you tell me what you're hearing when I do this? And can you just be really, really honest? Uh, like if the sound isn't great, can you just tell me? Because uh, it's
Well,
very hard to get an honest answer from people. Uh,
okay.
I live in a world where everything's great. Everything is great. Oh, it's so great, and it's not. So
Yeah.
let's see.
Well, you sound all right to me now. What's
I'm not so worried about me. It's the yeah. What does that sound like?
I hear it's fine.
Does it sound clear? Or does it sound wonky? And you're putting your ears, so I guess it's.
Well, I'm almost deaf,
I'm sorry. What?
but I'm almost deaf.
Well, yes, but you're not having any trouble hearing me, and
No,
you were
no,
having trouble hearing the music.
no.
Yes,
The music was clear. Yeah,
but
it was clear. Were you going to sing along with that?
I was hoping to. Why?
Well,
Is it
why don't you vocalize a little bit with it so I can make sure it's coming through?
okay? Because I bought an. I had to. Okay, thank you. I'm going to do that right now.
It's
Well, let's
lovely.
pretend. Let's pretend. I know. I'm sorry. I don't know what just happened. And now it just disappeared. So
Mm.
hold on, hold on. Yeah, I, I, I I don't know. I don't know. And every week it's a new thing. Every
Yeah.
week it's a new problem, and I can't anticipate what problem it's going to be, and I can't get ahead of it, and I can't ever make it work, and I don't know why it had a problem in the first place, and
Mm.
I'm just not smart enough. I'm just not smart enough.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay. Let's see if this.
I hear it.
Something is stirring, shifting ground. It's just begun. Edges are blurring all around, and yesterday is done. Feel the flow, hear what's happening, hear what's happening. Don't you know? We're the movers and we're the shapers. We're the names in tomorrow's papers. Up to us, pal, to show them. Let's just do this.
Oh,
It's our turn. Breathe it in. Can you hear
that's
it?
wonderful.
Worlds to change and worlds to win. Our turn coming through. Me and you, pal. Me and you. Feel how it quivers on the brink. Everything makes you shiver, makes you think. There's so much stuff to see. And you and I will be singing it like the birds. So does that is
It's
it balanced?
disappeared.
Why?
Sound's gone.
Sorry.
The music's gone.
Yeah, no, I turned it off because I
Oh,
was. Does it
it
shift when
sounded
I?
wonderful to me. Sounded great to me while you were singing.
I just want the music to be clear. And does it make a difference when I go? Okay, so here's the mic, right? Does it make a difference when I've been moving it around? Do you hear any difference? Or
Well, do that.
okay, so let me turn this back on. And let me. Oh, one moment.
There you go.
Uh, uh,
Looking good.
um, Thank you. It's a total lie. I might look good. I feel terrible. Uh, I'm sorry, I
Looking,
shouldn't say that. You know
looking.
what I wanted to ask you since you were here, though?
Yeah.
Uh, when have you sung your entire life? Have you done that? Has that
Oh no, no, no. Gosh.
when did that start?
Uh, well, it actually singing actually started while I was in the Air Force, but it was only because this band that I would go to listen to, a little jazz combo, needed a vocalist so that they could play uh, the the clubs on the base, the officers club and everything, and they needed a singer, and they thought that I could sing, and I I said I don't sing, and they said, well, we need a vocalist in order to play the clubs, and uh, I tried to do things. I wasn't good. I wasn't good. I didn't like it, but I liked the band, and that was why I started. And so at one air base, the first air base, I sang, and we'd also go. It was in Little Rock, Arkansas, and we'd also go into town. But of course, Little Rock was segregated, and I was the only black face in the band, and so um, I had to. When the band took breaks, I had to stay in the kitchen somewhere,
Oy.
and
What year was that?
let's see, 1960.
1960. Wow.
Yeah, I
Um,
yeah, around 1960.
so that was before President Johnson would have sent in the National Guard to make sure that was in 1963, four. I don't know.
Yeah, well, by that time I was out.
Yeah, so you were before, so it was very segregated. Wow,
Yeah,
wow.
it was
Uh,
it was crazy.
so, were you sweet on somebody in the band? Is that why you like them?
Oh no, I wanted to hear jazz, and they played good jazz. But we would play in town, in the town of Little Rock, like I said, and I'd have to stay in the kitchen. But the the uh, they wanted me to sing "Going to Kansas City" uh, over and over again. That was about the only song that I sang, and it was okay.
Kansas City, Kansas, that one?
Yep.
Kansas City, here I
Yeah.
come.
Yeah. That was it. And so uh, I was in Little Rock for about 2 years, and then I transferred to Los Angeles or Los Angeles, California. Uh, let's see, what was the base? Uh, Outside of Santa Barbara, Vandenberg Air Force Base, and I was there. Uh, but I was more interested in jazz dance. Uh, while I was in college, I was a dancer. I took dance classes and stuff like that. But I was an art major, graphic arts, and I got my degree in graphic arts.
Wow. So I didn't know. Well, I can see how you were a dancer. That much is clear in how you move. I've seen you on a dance floor. I didn't
But
know that you were an art major. What were graphic arts like in 19? Wait,
oh
so
wow,
you
it was
so you went to college before you went to the Air Force.
yeah, yeah.
So when you joined the Air Force, did you join as an officer?
Oh no, no, I wasn't an officer at all. No,
No. What did you do in the Air Force?
I was an illustrator for. They had to draw up charts, uh, uh, especially at Vandenberg. I used to draw up. I don't know what they called them, charts,
Okay.
missiles, and I also had to do all of the lettering for you know people would get up to speak and they like cue cards. That's that's it. I did a lot of hand lettering. So and then when I got out of service, I worked at Disney uh, as a graphic artist.
Wow. So you went from the Air Force to Disney,
Hmm.
from one military organization to another one, really.
Yeah,
Disney is
sort of.
crazy that way.
Yeah.
Uh, d did you work on anything on Disney that I would know, or did you?
Well, uh, I was con. We always worked on the Academy Awards. Uh, I even went to a couple of them um,
Wow.
as a seat filler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't care. I would do that.
yeah,
Wow, good for you.
yeah. It was fun. It was fun, and I had a great time at. I met beautiful people. I met Dolly Parton, who is just a beauty, a wonderful lady. She is just stunning.
I have a theory that she's exactly the same off stage as she is on. Is that
Oh
right?
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. She's real. Uh, uh, I got hugged by uh, Burt Reynolds. I was
Wow.
nervous about that. I thought, oh my goodness.
Was he coming on to you?
Well, no. Well, I don't know. One of the costume people, wardrobe people, introduced me to him, and the wardrobe guy was very gay, and but he says I'm gonna introduce you to Burt Reynolds, and Reynolds ran over and gave me a big hug. It scared the hell out of me, but that's okay.
So, uh, you went from not having to stay in the kitchen with from the band
Yeah,
to hugging Burt Reynolds at the Oscars.
yeah. Well,
That's
not
pretty cool.
not at the Oscars. Not. I didn't. I
Well,
didn't.
let's just say it was. Who cares?
No,
Uh,
this was on the lot at the I forgot what the it wasn't the actual Disney lot. It was Prospect Studios over
oh, I
in.
know where that is. It's near the church. It's near Metropolitan Community Church
Mm-hmm.
on in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know where that is. I've walked past there.
A wonderful, wonderful place to work, and so I was there for 43 years, and
You worked for Disney for 43 years in a row.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Was that your only job after you got out of the Air Force
My only
officially?
job. That's my only job.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they love, so everybody loves you, but Disney is no, they loved you for 43. What was it weird after leaving after 43 years?
Was it what?
Weird. Was it odd?
Oh, well, no. It was time for me to retire, and I just thought, okay.
So you retired at age,
Oh, let's see. I think I was, well, let's see. If I started in 60, uh, and 43 years I was there.
Okay, so 1960 to, so you retired in 2003,
Hmm.
and then, or something like that. And then, is, how did you pick up singing again?
Um, Went to this uh, club called The Other Side, you
Yeah,
know,
I know that club.
and uh, well, for 2 years I had been going to it, and one of the players, Roger Carr, was a pianist, and he always played Duke Ellington music, and I asked him to play Sophisticated Lady.
It's my favorite.
Then he said, I'll play it if you'll come up and sing Lush Life, because I was going to ask him to play that too. And I said, I don't sing, because I hadn't sung since,
1960.
of course, yeah. And so he said, well, I think you do. So I got up, embarrassed. It was terrible. It was just terrible. He said, well, he was very kind. He said, that's nice. You come back next week and do it again. I came
Oh,
back the following week and did it again, and it was better. So that started it. So
hmm.
so I'm a singer, but I didn't plan on. I still wanted to dance, and I when um, uh, what's the big dance show? Oh,
Soul Train?
no, not a show.
Oh,
No,
not a TV show.
Broadway show. Broadway show.
42nd Street.
No.
Chorus Line?
Chorus line.
Ah,
Well, my partner at that time, uh, I mean, I actually got the job through my partner uh, at that time because his former partner worked at ABC, and so he told me to go over there and and interview. And uh, his partner, his former partner, wasn't there that day that I went over, but someone else interviewed me, and I got to work in. I worked in the mailroom for 2 months, and then they saw my artwork and said, "Oh, you should be in graphic arts," and that's how I got in graphic arts.
how did they see your artwork?
Well, one of the bosses uh, uh, in the mailroom was an artist himself, and I told him how much I liked it. And he said, "Are you an artist?" I said, "Well, I have a BFA degree. I haven't done much with it." He says, "Well, let me see some of your stuff." So I showed him some. He said, "Oh, you need to be in the graphic arts department. You shouldn't be here in the mail department." And he worked on getting me into the graphic arts department, and that's where I stayed for 43 years.
Wow.
It was a
There's
wonderful
just
time.
something about you that makes people, I think you bring out the best in people. You do. There's just
Well,
something about your
well,
spirit.
that's good. I hope I do, and I know that the people around me are beautiful. I know that, and when I see it, I want them to be that beautiful. Just be beautiful. And there's a lot of people who can't get along, but I can't see that. I see we've got. I'm going crazy right now because the world is just not right
I'm
for me.
afraid.
It's really scary right now, and mm.
I
But
used to,
I still do what I do. I still like to be around people, and especially people I like, and I want them to be good too. I want them to be good. When I see people, especially like you, I really think you're a genius at what you do. I really like that. And when you started your Zooms, I thought that was wonderful. The started the shows, uh, it's good. It's good, Trip.
It is good.
And you got
I
you got wonderful fans. You've got the fans there.
um,
We
I don't
love
know
you.
that I don't know that that's true, but it's nice to hear. I like hearing it. That's nice. But uh, I yeah, I like it a lot. I believe the same way that you believe that I know that people have a lot more talent than they give themselves credit for, and it's just a question of putting them in the right spotlight and giving them a platform and making them feel comfortable. And if you can do all of that, then um, they'll do better. And you've experienced this, right? When you've started singing, like the first time it goes well, or the first time that you really feel like you deserved the applause, like it wasn't just polite applause. It was just
Well,
it changes you. It makes you hungry.
yeah. Well, I've got to confess, I also did what do you call it? I call it record pantomime, lip sync. I I did that for a while because one of the uh, one one of a group of my friends used to go to this uh, lesbian bar out near the airport, and they would have shows, and they would do lip sync.
Right. Were you in drag?
No, well, comic drag with a
Comic drag is
beard and
did
mustache, but I no, I mainly performed as a guy, but uh, I would do uh, like I did Richard Pryor, recorded Richard Pryor stuff, and so
wow.
all this,
So when you lip synced Richard Pryor, then you'd have to memorize his brilliant, brilliant comedy albums.
yeah,
And wow. And then
and
how?
from
What
that
did you?
I got into musical uh, lip syncs, but you know,
How was it your choice to do Richard Pryor?
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Because you could have done anybody, but you chose Richard Pryor. Why?
I just thought he was fascinating. I mean, he's crazy, but he was fascinating. And
I think he's one of the most honest voices I've ever heard. Is
yeah,
Richard Pryor
yeah,
uh, so unafraid and terribly afraid at the same time, but
yeah.
so brave to be so honest.
Well, then it led to doing musical uh, lip syncs, and yeah, we became a show, a group of lip syncers. Uh, the the girls, the real girls of the club, would do male drag,
Okay.
and I was the only real male up there doing male drag or whatever, and I think a couple times they put me in a big dress or something with my beard and mustache and come out. It was fun, but I really concentrated on serious. I used to do Belafonte. Uh,
Dale,
yeah, well, not
Dale.
he did a wonderful thing called it was really a recitation. Noah and the Ark. No, it was a wonderful, and it's going to rain. I flipped out on Belafonte. I thought he was a hot man and just
I
wonderful.
didn't realize with Harry Belafonte until maybe last year when we had his birthday, or
Mhm.
whenever it was. It was within the last calendar year. Um, how I mean, I knew he was I knew he was an advocate. And I knew that he was a voice of the movement of the '60s, but I didn't realize how uh, uh, central he was. You know, he was things happened a lot because of him, and he had a. Uh, I didn't realize. I knew he was on the front lines, but wow,
Yeah.
he,
Well, I was in Des Moines still when I was still in high school there, uh, being interested in dance and seeing a lot of musical movies. I fell in love with Marge and Gower Champion dancers, and they came to Des Moines, Iowa, played our one big theater with the voices of Walter Schumann. I don't know if you know those, but it, and their guest was Belafonte, and I'd never seen him before. And it's a huge theater, one of our biggest, or one of the biggest theaters in Des Moines. I don't know if it's still there. Uh, the voices. I see. I went to see Martin Gower Champion. I didn't know who Belafonte was at all. And the stage, just huge stage, just black, and then spotlight, bam, hit, and there was this man standing there singing Deo, and I thought, who the hell is this? And he was good. He was good. Uh, I didn't.
I can imagine how Des Moines uh, in that theater when the spotlight hit and there's this gorgeous Mr. Belafonte going, "Damn!" Yeah, that
Yes,
Des Moines was
yeah,
not ready for that.
it's shocking. It's almost shocking, but it
I
was
think that's why it
wonderful.
was a breakthrough for him because it was shocking because it was this impact. You couldn't miss him.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I said I was there to see Margin Gower champion, and then all of a sudden here's Belafonte. I said, who is this man? Who is this?
So
Never heard of him at that point.
Marge and Gower Champion, uh, was he the opening act or just part of the
He was
big
just part
show?
of the whole show. It was with the voices of Walter Schumann, uh, big chorus, big big chorus group, very good. They'd been on Ed Sullivan a lot, and Margin Gower champion. If you were a musical movie fan like I
Yeah.
was, they were in so many things, and I at that point that I was really interested in dance, and I used to watch the Sid Caesar show, Caesar Imaging Coca
Show of shows.
show of shows, and they had a dance group on it called the Hamilton Trio, which was a guy and two women, and they danced. It was jazz music they danced to. So they were the ones who really got me into dancing, and that's what I wanted to be, a dancer. The singing just happened as a fluke. Uh,
Have you ever had the opportunity to be in a musical where you got to dance? Or
well, on in the Air Force, I was in their musicals, but that's we did anything goes. I'm trying to think, but they planned a devil sequence in it where I appeared as I was the purser in the show, and then the dream sequence I was dressed as a Satan, and I did a dance to it, a jazz dance to it.
Wow, I have a very active imagination, and I can subtract decades and watch you be the devil. I can see that. I can see how why they would have cast you, because the devil has to be seductive.
It was it was fun, but when I got out of the service, I didn't know what I was going to do. I had my art background, so that's what I really wanted to concentrate on, and the lip syncing didn't come up until later on, after I got hired by Disney or hired at Prospect Studios and everything, because met friends who knew friends at this female gay club out by the airport, and that's how I got out there. That's how I saw more lip syncing. I said I could do that. So
Have you always, I mean, you've always been kind of a performer in one way or another, right? Um,
yeah,
you
uh,
have found a,
it wasn't well. I was classified as a sissy in school, so uh, that wasn't good. But I over
no.
I overcame it.
Well, you sure did. You went from being a sissy to being the devil. So,
Yeah.
that's kind of and from being in the kitchen to hugging Burt Reynolds. So I'm seeing
Oh
a
yeah.
pattern.
Oh, the best hugger was Glenn Ford. Oh,
The singing cowboy, right?
no. Glenn Ford.
What am I thinking?
Uh, he was a fantastic dramatic actor, and he did comedy. Uh, the movie Pocket Full of Miracles. I don't know
Mhm.
if you saw that. And Betty Davis was in it, and Hope somebody.
Wasn't that like a really young Betty Davis, right? Pocket
Uh,
full of
an
miracles.
older Betty Davis.
All right, I don't know the movie at all.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. Why
I,
don't I know Glenn Ford? I don't know.
but I also met Debbie Reynolds, who I felt was a beautiful being, a beautiful being. And
How did you meet Debbie Reynolds?
uh, well, um, throughout my time at ABC at Prospect Studios, they did big variety shows. Also, Julie Andrews, I met, wonderful lady, but and Dolly Parton I told you about. Um, Lily Tomlin. Well, I guess I got to know Lily Tomlin through watching her perform with Richard Pryor every now and then. They were good friends, and I went to see Lily Tomlin's show about the space thing. Oh, so beautiful.
In search of intelligent life.
Yeah,
The search for intelligent life in the universe.
yeah. Oh, and at the end, she gets she says you get the I don't know what the feeling, and so when I saw her, I said I got it, I got it, and she because she would come on a lot every so often, and I got to meet her. I even met her at the Burbank Airport once and ran
You
over
and
to her.
you and Lily are like the same age, right? You're almost exactly the same age, wouldn't you be?
Probably, probably.
I think, uh, yeah, I think so. Um,
I'm
she
86.
fascinates me, and I think she was a real champion for gay rights. And I
Oh,
think,
of course, of
I
course. Oh,
and I'm so
oh,
happy that smart lesbians saved a lot of gay men. So
Yeah.
they did.
Uh, I have people. My heroes are certainly there, and I'm saddened because some have gone, have left us already. But
Who are
um,
your other heroes?
oh my goodness. Well, Jane Fonda. Um, let me see. Now I have to think. Um,
Look, it's an odd question.
lot of heroes. I mean, I could
Don't
just
pop in. Yeah, don't feel like you need to give me a list. I just it fascinates me. Um, it
uh,
fascinates. You're a fascinating guy, I think.
I well I I know there are good people out there. There are good people. Some of them have left us already, but they made their mark, and it's people that I think of. I don't think of them as being gone. You know, they've influenced me, uh, and they stay with me. Sometimes there have been times I just say I give up, and then I think of them, one of them, and I feel okay. I feel okay. My baby, my guy, is not doing well, but he's still alive, and been in this condition for over 3 years now. So
Wow. This is Fuzz, right?
this
That.
fuzz, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I don't know if well
Well,
you met Fuzz, I think.
I think I've seen him. I don't know. Maybe I met him as far as a handshake. I'm not sure. I
Yeah.
know I've seen him maybe once.
Well, when I did a show at the uh, Gardenia, and the whole gang was there. I mean, I don't know. This,
There he is. There
see,
he is. Hi, Fuzz.
that's him. And he looks more like that right now.
I
Uh,
think it's fabulous you carry his picture. You
oh,
know?
I love him. I'll show you what he looked like when I first met him. And I don't know if you ever had a Smith Brothers cough drop or whatever they go. If you remember the box that they
I
put
know
in.
exactly what you're talking about. It's a great box to keep dope in.
This is way,
Look at the handsome.
yeah. Okay. Well, I thought he looked like one of the Smith brothers when I met him.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. He
Yeah,
does.
well, the black and white doesn't hurt it. That's
Yeah, if
what.
you put a little hat on.
And
Yeah.
then on his 60th or 50th birthday, this is what he looked like.
What did you look like when you met him? I'm interested in that.
Well, I don't even know if I have pictures of me at that time. Um, I don't have them with me.
That's
I'll
okay.
show them to you one of these days. I'll get them to you.
I'm just curious to compare it to my imagination, which, as I told you, is vivid. Uh,
Oh, it, it's nothing.
I
I,
bet you were smoldering. I bet you were smoldering, and
no,
you're still smoldering. So
well, I only because people tell me I'm smoldering. I wasn't smoldering.
well, that's what makes you especially smoldy, is because you're not trying to be. You just are.
No, I have fun. I have I have fun with life. Um, Having troubles now because a lot of I'm at the age where I'm going to be losing my friends, and in this year already I've lost three, uh, and it's kind of rough on me, but you know,
It is rough. I didn't realize until the other day I was going through. Uh, show off show, and I'm seeing how many people just from 4 years ago
Yeah.
are no longer here, and it's. I think I was going through the roll of my contact list or something,
Hmm.
and I saw, uh, I was amazed how many people are no longer here, and it's uh, yeah. Well, there's going to be a lot more of that.
Yeah, I know. And uh, the world is crazy right now. I gotta tell you something. Um, I go to Denny's a lot, and there's the one out by the Burbank Airport. I went just two evenings ago, and um, a regular, regular day, or it was early evening, and uh, I see only two people working there as waiters and waitress. So I just sat down, and this waitress came over, took my order, and we chit chatted a little bit. It was kind of nice, and I heard this beep 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 beep, and I look up and there's a robot in the restaurant moving toward a certain table. Beep 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 beep, and it's rather large restaurant. It's not a little place. And I said, "What the hell is this?" And it went on a path and got to a table, and you still had to have the waiter there to lift the food off the tray of this robot. But I don't like robots. I do not like robots. It scared the hell out of me. And
I don't. I don't blame you. I
well,
feel badly for the waiters. I feel bad for the waiter that has to train his replacement who isn't a human.
yeah, you know what? This is why I'm angry. We got people there. Yeah, like, hey, we got people who need jobs so badly that they would take the minimum wage just to do this and have some kind of self-respect. This is the whole thing with me. Give them some kind of self-respect.
Yeah, dignity.
And this fucking robot comes by. I just can't handle it. I can't. And this is the way of the future because I know if it's happening at that Denny's, it must be getting ready to happen other places. And it pisses me off. It pisses me off. And
I
I,
worry.
yeah, I worry. But maybe because I'm older, I won't be around to witness the whole thing because robot cars, we got. Well, I'd die of a heart attack if I was in a car that was being driven by.
Automatically. Yeah.
Yes, because if I saw it getting too close to another car all of a sudden, and then before it would stop, I would have a heart attack.
I would too. I feel badly for the cashiers too because they have to work right next to their replacement. They have the cashiers,
Yeah,
and then they have the
yeah,
scan it yourself, and then you all for 8 hours a day you stand on your
yeah.
feet looking at your replacement, and that's just awful.
Yeah, well, I gotta tell you, after reading and seeing the movie 1984, I was scared to death when that year came by. I
Me too, and
was shaking.
it's happening now though. It's 20 years late,
I know.
but it's still happening. It's totally happening. No, 40 years. We're
Yeah,
40 years, but we're being told not to believe what our eyes see, and we're being told not to hear what our ears are hearing, and
I
that
know. I know. I
And it's
know.
not like they're being subtle about it. They're not being subtle.
Oh no, no.
Uh,
And
uh,
I wonder. I feel sorry for the young generation, but because they don't see it, they don't see it as something bad happening. But it it's bad.
I worry a lot about that. I don't think the smartphone has helped us at all. I don't.
No,
And
no,
I know I'm on Facebook right now, but I don't think Facebook has helped
no.
anybody at
I'm
all
not on
ever.
Facebook. I'm never on Facebook.
I hate it. I hate it. I hate Facebook. I think it gives people license to be assholes.
There you go.
It does.
There you go.
And I had and it makes it very easy to uh, cancel a friendship without ever having to take responsibility or be accountable or to ever uh, have any consequences.
There you go. You hit it right on the. You hit the nail on the head. Uh,
All you
and
have to delete.
yeah, it's just it's amazing. I mean, I would never have thought maybe 20 years ago that we'd be at this point because I think even 20 years ago we were getting along and helping each other. It's not done anymore.
No.
Yes, it is. I mean, there are
You
people.
know what's weird? Um, Now people look back at the 90s as being the last time uh, America was popular in the world, but also the last time that things were sort of feel good.
Hmm.
And and it was all just before the internet, you know?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
all just before suddenly when because I since I was a little kid, I loved the idea of the future. I loved the
Oh
idea
yeah,
of spaceships and talking
yeah,
like this on video phone, and
yeah.
I was very excited about the future. And now I'm afraid of it.
Well, well, I am a little bit too, but there's nothing. I don't know if there's anything we can do about it. Uh,
I don't think there is.
no,
Adapt.
but you have to keep being yourself. That's in all this madness. Still be who you are. Now, you might become unpopular, still being who you are, but that's okay because you're still being who you are. That's what I'm
Uh,
saying.
well, that's already happened, and yeah.
Yeah, but you're still being who you are, and that's more important. That's more important. It really is.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to accept your word as a person I admire. I will accept it.
I've told you many times how much I think you are a genius. I do, and I like that. And when I see that in somebody, uh, you know, maybe no other people don't see it. That's okay. I know what I see, and that's all right. I'll go with that.
It's not all it's well, thank you, and I'm going to say thank you because it's a compliment. Um, I have a question. If you could pick a any songs that you would like to sing for your fuzz boyfriend, guy, man, it, it, I know he likes. I think My Funny Valentine, doesn't he? Didn't you?
I've sung it. It was hard. Uh, I insisted on singing the intro to it. I remember when we recorded it, uh, and I haven't sung it a lot, but I insisted on singing the intro to it because to me that's the best part of that song. Um, Um, and it's funny. I never ever thought of singing that song, but it was on my first CD, and
Hmm.
um,
What's his favorite song that you've done? Not necessarily the one that you would pick, but has he ever said, "Oh, you're so great when you sing this"?
what
Does he
now?
have does he have a favorite or one that
Oh,
he's
Fuzz. Oh, uh, Fuzz. Fuzz just likes anything I sing. And he comes from a religious background, so and I don't sing religious songs, but he he you know, and that's almost I didn't think. Well, his wife is a very religious person, and
how did you meet?
oh, well, my former partner had been dead for about 6 or 7 months, and I I was having a hard time. I would go to Studio One every night and get plastered. Uh, it was just it was not good. And I went to what the French Market, I think that's what it was called, is the restaurant. And I would sit at the counter, and because I was out every night, and I'm trying to sober up. And Fuzz Fuzz worked, what do you call it? Midnight shift or
Graveyard?
yeah, but he worked. Uh, I don't know what his real job was. They in flowers, floral. He had a greenhouse full of orchids, and and one of his jobs were to supply big businesses with orchids in their offices and everything.
Hmm.
Uh, anyway,
That's got to be a
he was
nice
on
job.
he was on his way to work about the time that clubs were closing, and I'm sitting there at the counter, and and he seemed interested, but he nothing was happening. So I'd go home alone, or go home with somebody else, and finally, uh, I stopped going to that French market, and I went to a different uh, gay restaurant, watering hole. And he came in. He says, "Why'd you stop coming over to French Market?" I said, "Well, uh, I just thought I'd see some." And he he said, "Well, didn't you know I was interested in you?" I said, "Well, you didn't show." And then he just grabbed me and kissed me right there. And I mean, it was a gay restaurant, so
Well, no, that's very romantic.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
out of a movie.
yeah, yeah, and so uh, I said, "But you're married." He said, "Yeah, but I'm gay." Yeah, and at that time, I didn't know at that time, but as I later found out, his wife had a boyfriend, and he had a boyfriend.
Wow.
Uh, but he says I was interested, and so that started it. And ever since 1976, 77, we've been a partner. So it's been
46.
47, almost 46, 47 years.
Wow. That's a long time.
Yeah,
That's a long time.
yeah.
I'm never going to have a boyfriend for 46 years. That's
Well,
physically impossible. I think ever, I'm undateable, but I don't think
oh,
I'm ever going to have even if like magically a gifted surgeon were able to remove the part of my brain that makes me annoying. Even then, if I started dating tomorrow, I would not be able to have a 46-year
Well,
relationship.
well, yeah. Well, the way the world's going, nobody's going to have a 46 year relationship the way the world's going, unless you fall in love with a robot.
Um, I would be willing to fall in love with a robot, but my
Uh,
experience with technology tells me that it would just torture me even more.
oh,
I wouldn't be able to get it to do anything. It would wind up bossing me around, and by the time that happened, I'd be okay with it because I would be so defeated by. Anyway, there's no point in continuing that sad story. Not with Larry Davis.
oh,
Larry Davis is all about
this
pop.
is fun. I like this
I
trip.
do
I
too.
like this. Uh,
I like hearing your stories,
well, hmm,
and I think you have a lot
story.
of them.
I got stories, but uh, everybody has stories if they.
No, they don't.
Mm,
No, they don't. Uh,
well, they
some
won't
people.
tell them. They don't tell them. Uh, I see. I grew up with a wonderful storyteller. I think you must know. I told you that I had my mother's mother, uh, maternal grandmother was part. Now it's debatable, but I've always known her as being part Cherokee, half Cherokee Indian, and she was a grand storyteller, and that's where influence, a lot of her influence is in me. Uh, in a week or so, I'm going to visit uh, a cousin who's celebrating her 80th birthday. And the reason why this cousin is so important to me is that when I first met her, maybe about 20, 25 years ago, there was something about her that was familiar. And then it hit me that she was my grandmother. She was she had the same personality as my grandmother, and I told her that.
Hmm.
And uh, we've been very close since then. So she's got a birthday coming up, and I've got to go and sing to sing
Is
for
that
her.
going to be in Iowa? Are you?
Oh no, this is me. She's Upper California. She lives uh, near Oakland, uh, and I've been seeing her along with her relatives for the last maybe 20, 25 years uh, at reunions and things like that. But she's from a family out of New Orleans, and that's where my father's mother uh, used to live, and she died there. So, and I didn't know her that well. I didn't know
So you have roots in Iowa and then also in
New Orleans,
New Orleans.
and yeah, yeah,
Wow, it's fascinating.
yeah.
I was telling somebody the other day uh, about you because we were talking about singers and something they said prompted me to remember specifically Nature Boy. When you do, like, I used you as an example of the way that you. Here's what I said. Now I remember the way that you approach a song allows me to hear the lyrics again for the first time. You
Mm.
know that they take on a different shade or a different uh, I don't know perspective, I guess, and they seem to have so much more gravity to them. They seem to be so much more important that it allows my ears to hear them. And so I was using you as an example, and then I said how much I've stolen from you.
Stolen.
Because I, for example, there is a grace with which you move around the world that I admire a great deal. Maybe it's because you're a dancer, but specifically when you would come into Stony Point, which is how I go. I've been going back to Stony Point a little bit, but I try to do it like Larry Davis, where you come in after it's already started. That's number one. You kind of have to wait till it gets going a little bit, so you don't make your entrance right away, and then you try to cut out early, just a tiny bit early, and you do a couple great songs, and everybody loves you, and then and he's gone. He's
Uh-huh.
gone.
Yeah.
And like a butterfly, you know, you just come and you land and you make our lives brighter, and then you fly off somewhere. So I'm trying to do that, right? Arrive late, you know, and then I'm great, and then I leave before everybody hates me. So not they don't hate you, but me they do. So that was one of the things I stole from you was that, and I like how you do that. But also, it was really you that, without the microphone there, you are very good about walking the aisle and making sure everyone can hear you and engaging them and bringing them into your
Yeah.
performance.
I'm
I stole
limited
that from
by
you.
the microphone. I'm limited by the microphone. It's just
But
it
you, the
helps.
solution that you have is around it is very good, and that's when I started doing that. I started copying you, really.
There you go. That's wonderful. You're not copying me. You're just doing another side of you. That's it.
Yeah, I'd like to develop the Larry Davis side of me. I
Yeah.
would. But I know it's hard to hear compliments, but
Well,
it's very
I'm
true.
very, I'm very flattered. That's wonderful. That's good. But uh, I don't know how it consciously happened, but I know my way of presenting a song is because my grandmother was a great storyteller, and I, she told us stories every night, every night, and so I love stories, and I love make believe. Well, and I love musical movies,
Me
and my
too.
mother, I I believed you could walk down the street and sing like Gene Kelly did in Singing in the Rain. And my mother said, "Oh, no, honey, they'll put you away." Uh, and I couldn't understand that. Why would they put you away? You're just singing. Yeah.
Wow, wow. Well, me too. That's a
Yeah,
me too.
exactly. I could tell. I knew that. I knew
Musicals
that.
are magical that way. That musicals are magical. That
Oh, yeah.
you and I would have that in common. You know that we both.
Okay.
Yeah,
And that's good. That's wonderful.
it's
Uh,
amazing.
maybe we'll
Uh,
star in a musical somewhere.
I think we could.
Yeah, wonderful.
We would do a musical version of. I want to get it right. Um, 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 oh darn it! I'll spoil it by saying it too fast. Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder,
Hey, Gene Wilder. I
Richard
I
Pryor and Gene
was
Wilder
I
were
was
in.
in school with Gene Wilder without knowing it.
I want to look. What's the one that they did?
Richard Pryor and well, Blazing
And,
Saddles. No,
no, well, they were both involved in it, but Richard wasn't on screen. He was a
yeah,
writer. But then they would go. Isn't it
Gene Wilder.
Richard?
Well, the
Maybe
history
it's
of
not Gene Wilder. It's the other one. Richard Pryor and
oh
some nerdy white guy. That's the point.
yeah, he
I
was
can't think of
wonderful.
it.
He was
With a
wonderful.
train. It has to do with a train.
Oh, a train.
Yeah, I don't have. Yeah, I don't have my anything I need to look it up. That's too bad. Well, I'll have to.
Oh, that's
That
okay.
would have been a great and funny and genius line had I been able to
Well,
find.
I went crazy over Gene Wilder anyway, and uh, one of my classmates at the college I went to, University of Iowa, said, "Well, don't you know you were in class with him? He was a senior at uh, at Iowa, State University of Iowa, but that wasn't his name. His name wasn't Gene Wilder.
What was
And
his name?
I don't know. I don't know. Bernie something, I think. But I said, Gene Wilder was there, but also a lot of Mel Brooks uh, alumni.
Cloris Leachman.
Oh, well, she's
Cloris
from
Leachman is from
Iowa.
Des Moines. She's from Des Moines
Yeah,
because they have Leachman lumber.
yeah. Well, I used to walk through that in order to get to this one school where, elementary school where a friend of mine went to. I'd have to go through the I have to take a shortcut through what was that? Was that? Oh, stir
Maybe.
crazy.
Or see no evil, hear no evil. See, we could do that. That would be us. Here we go. They did a
Oh,
lot of
there we
movies together.
are. Yeah. Hey,
See, that
very
would be us.
nice.
We could do that.
Yeah, well, I would have to go through the Leachman Lumber Company. It's still there in Des Moines too, because last time I was there, uh, I saw it.
I read a because I read her biography. Cloris Leachman,
Mhm.
received her very first kiss ever on the Des Moines Community Playhouse stage.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
was her first kiss ever.
Oh, first kiss.
Her
Period.
first kiss.
Oh
Where
my.
was your first kiss?
Oh Lord.
Please
Uh,
don't say the confessional. Please don't say that.
no, I can't think. I can't think of when I got my first kiss. Uh, mm, no, I don't.
Well, it wasn't at the French market, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, no, no. Uh, hmm.
It'll come to you.
Oh, while I was in at Iowa, at the University of Iowa. I mean, that's the first romantic kiss I got.
Yeah, that's the one I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't mean like if you fell down on your knee and someone came up and kissed your boo boo.
Yeah, yeah. No, no. This was the first kiss, and oh, he, I was in the musical on campus in Finian's Rainbow.
Oh,
I love that show. It's a wonderful
oh.
show. I love the movie that they made out of with Fred Astaire and uh, what's her name? I can see her, but I can't tell.
Petula Clark. No, no, no.
Petula. Yeah,
Yeah, no, no. Good, good for me. That's right. Petula Clark.
I love the show, and I got to I got into Finian's Rainbow as a dancer only because I went to uh, uh, I guess an audition with a friend who was a dancer. I mean, he was a trained dancer. At that time, I didn't know anything about dancing except I like to move, and I went to his audition or tryout, and the director came over and told him how good he was, and the director asked me if I danced, and I said, "Well, I
Yes.
dance," but he says, "Well, why don't you get up and go through some moves?" And that was before I done
Had
any.
found your groove.
Yeah, and I got the job, and my friend didn't.
Oh no. Oh,
And my friend decided he was no longer my friend.
oh, because he would. Oh, yeah, they do.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was
what
too.
do you? What do you do? Do you? Yeah, and then you. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
and that kind of started a whole lot of things. Finian's Rainbow, and it's such a wonderful play. It's really a wonderful, wonderful show, and
Look, look, look to the rainbow.
good music.
Follow the ever the. You know, St. Patrick's Day is coming up. Maybe I'll sing that for you.
Okay,
Uh,
that's wonderful.
I love that show as well. I've
It's
never
a
been
good
in it.
show. Yeah, and it's got a lot to say, and I had no idea it had anything to do with race relations. And when I saw, I said, what is this? I mean, it was wonderful.
Broadway's great that way because you're having such a great time that you forget that you're being taught a valuable lesson. You know,
Yeah,
Hairspray is like that too. It's you're having such a great time laughing, and the songs are catchy that you forget that
yeah,
it's a real statement. Uh,
yeah. There's a
Not just
statement
about
there.
racism, but about size and body shaming and
Yeah,
elitism and
yeah.
class
A lot of
warfare.
lessons, a lot of lessons. And, uh, I think today's audiences, whenever, I shouldn't make it a blanket statement. I think a lot of people who are going to theater are just going. They're not getting any. Uh,
But that's always been the case, really. It's only
yeah,
the people for a long time, maybe even now, it's only guys like us, a very small population that buy the cast album and memorize it. And,
yeah.
you know, uh,
Well, I mean, uh, I'm a Sondheim freak too. Uh, and my first partner introduced me to uh, Sondheim. Well, I don't know if he did necessarily. No, he didn't necessarily. We both learned about Sondheim at the same time when we saw Company.
and that was it.
We went to Company. We an older gay couple. I don't know how we got to meet them, but anyway, they said there's a new show playing down at the uh, uh, theater, and uh, we're going to go see it, and we want to take you. And that was very nice. So we went. My first partner's name was Arthur or Artie, and Artie and I couldn't wait to go. Well, this couple that took us were just just hated Company, hated Company
Why?
because it's a different kind of format. They
Yeah.
loved Oklahoma, but they hated Company.
I
And
can see that.
Artie and I sat there and said, "Oh, we're loving this," but that couple who paid our way in said, "We're leaving at the middle of this."
And did they think it was just going to die? Did they think Company was just going to be a
Oh,
flop?
it's a terrible show. To them it was a terrible show. So we had to leave with them, but we went back.
Oh no.
Oh yeah,
Oh no.
well
Okay.
they paid our way, so we
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. All right, I get it.
so we
Uh,
left and we went back the next week to see it on our own. And
it really
you
broke
know,
me down.
love with it. It's still so vibrant. It's still so vibrant.
I went through it. I went through it the other day. I was doing something. It wasn't being alive. It was something else. But it's
Yeah.
um,
Oh, I love
it,
that song.
it's so weird that your friends would love Oklahoma, which was Oscar Hammerstein, who was Sondheim's mentor,
Yeah,
but wouldn't
yeah.
like
Oh no, no, no. They didn't like. Oh, they hated company. They just said. I guess they said. I guess we're going to leave. After, and what do you do?
Well, Company's challenging because you have to fill in your own storyline in
Oh
parts of
yeah.
it. You
Well,
have to
it's a
connect the
different
dots.
kind. It's a different kind of.
I like it because it's it's impressions. It's a sketch. It's connected, but it's
Yeah,
it's not a, linear plot line.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah. Well, most of the theater that I really love. Well, the first version of Chicago, I loved with Gwen and Cheetah. And I don't know if you saw it. They uh, they the
I
stage
didn't, but Um,
Well, it was a cylinder, a big cylinder on stage, with drapes around it, and on top was the band, the orchestra, and there were stairways coming down on each side, and every now and then the drapes around the cylinder would open up, and there was a, a piece of a scene. Also, now this was in New York. And this also over at the side there was an easel, uh, like they used to use in vaudeville days.
yeah, it's a vaudeville show. Chicago is.
Yeah. Well, they don't do it like that now.
Although you could make an argument that the production that they brought back Cabaret with, Sam Mendes,
Yeah.
he did the exact same thing you're describing. He put the orchestra on top of the Kit Kat Club
Yeah.
and then had a stairway on
Oh, that's
either
funny.
side.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
no,
know
no, it's
that.
very similar to what you're describing.
Yeah.
But
Well,
yeah, you're in.
and they would pull set pieces out of the out of that after the curtain would pull out, and then they would introduce uh, each number, uh, with the.
Yeah, with the placard with
Yeah, I
the
love
canvas
that.
board thing.
I love that.
I love that
I
too.
still love Chicago anyway, but I loved because that was the first time I saw it. That it was so. I love make believe. I love make believe so much that
And but Chicago was so ahead of its time. You know,
oh
Fred Ebb was
wow,
a
it was.
genius
It was.
uh, because they saw something coming then that's here now,
Oh,
which
about
is
us.
what if being infamous was just as good as being famous, you know,
Yeah. Hmm.
and how we've confused the two, and how the courts and the law and the are just all a big show. It's just a big
Okay.
show.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I love that. Man of La Mancha was made up. I mean, it was a story within a story,
Yeah,
which I loved.
yeah, I do too.
I like things like that, and I mean, I like regular shows too, but I love the idea of let's put on a show and
Yeah, me too.
yeah, that's
Once on This Island is like that, which is one of my favorites ever.
which
Uh,
one?
Once on This Island.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've never seen it, but I've heard the music from it. It sounds wonderful.
It's I don't know why it's a go-to for me when I'm you know, when I'm just about to slip my wrists, you know, maybe I'll just listen to Once on This Island one more time.
Okay.
But it's about telling stories, you know, it's about and they're calming
Well,
this little girl down in the middle of a storm by telling her a story.
well, you see, that goes back to my grandmother. She tells stories. She would tell these wonderful stories, and I sat there and just, my eyes were this big at all the stories she would tell. I love storytelling. I love Man of La Mancha because it was a story told with using the prisoners, and they each had a role in the story. I love that whole idea, and uh, and Company was the same way in a way. I love that form, and uh,
Me too. Me
yeah,
too. I did. I They
yeah.
said in at BMI in the Lehman Ingle workshop that I was in for a long time. Um, if you don't have a story, uh, your musical will die.
Mm.
You can get away with bad songs. You know,
Mm.
you sometimes you can get away with bad lyrics. You can get away with bad direction. If you have a good story, it won't matter. You know,
Yeah.
your show will survive. And so the book part, because the book part of a musical, which is the stuff that happens in between songs, they have a separate division for that. And so in the workshop, you can attend it as a lyricist, or you can attend it as a composer, or you can attend it as a book writer. And I did both for a while because uh, it's so much harder than you think
Mm,
to tell an entire complete story, but in between the songs or through the songs. And there's so much that has to happen so quickly without the audience knowing that that's what you're doing. Uh, there's so much exposition that has to happen
mm,
without you feeling like it's exposition.
okay.
Here's an example of what I mean. This is the example they use. In West Side Story, Maria and Anita are having an argument about the dress, about what color the dress should be.
Hmm.
And Maria is very upset because it's a white dress and I don't want to wear it. It's for the little babies. And within 2 minutes, I think it's within 2 minutes of this argument between Anita and Maria, you find out everything you need to know. You find out she's going to the dance. You find out that Bernardo's going to be there. You find out that Anita has a boyfriend. You find this whole thing, and it all happens in an argument over the dress. And
Okay.
and because every scene has to have conflict. Every single scene in a musical should have a conflict of some kind or another,
Uh-huh.
and uh, and it does. So you have to be slick. It's very hard to do. I'm terrible at it. But it's very hard to do uh, to make it not seem like you're feeding the audience the plot lines that they need to know in
Hmm.
order to get to the next scene. It's very hard to do, and
Mm,
some people are brilliant at it. Peter Stone. Peter Stone's brilliant at it. He
hmm.
does all the books. Anyway, Larry, I don't want to keep you up all night, and I'm going to tell you something because it will be very complimentary and slightly embarrassing. So, nobody came to my show but you, and it could have been a really horrible, depressing night for me, but it wasn't because I had such a good time with you.
Me too.
Me
Me
too.
too. And I
Uh,
thank you for inviting me. And now I'm gonna go and get something to eat.
you should go get something to eat, and I'm tempted to do a closing number, but I like how we are so much
Uh,
that I don't want to like ruin it. What do
uh,
you think?
I wanted to thank you again for doing that song from Into the Woods. Uh, you know,
Oh,
you,
I wanted to re-record that. There was this weird thing happening that night where the karaoke track that I had prepared was not in sync with the music, and so I couldn't see any of the words. And I don't know what happened to it, but I really want to do that for you again because I know because I love it too, and
you,
I really wanted to do it with you, but
yeah,
you,
I know.
I
We
know,
were
I
gonna do it.
accept your answer.
We were gonna do it at one time and not never got around to it. Uh, because I didn't learn it. That was one
Um,
thing. But I love that. I love that part. And it just tore me apart when I saw the movie. I said, they didn't include this song. This is so important. It's so important. And they didn't.
no,
They
no, they didn't, and I
That's
don't
too
know.
bad.
We've talked about this before, but I've not. It's a mystery worth solving. Although Mr. Sondheim is gone, I
Maybe,
never understood that. I would have fought for it tooth and nail.
yes. Yes. That's
We disappear. We
so
disappear.
important. It told the whole story. It told the whole story. And
It
where
does, and there's forgiveness at the end,
yes,
sort of,
yes.
or a father and son kind of distant forgiveness. All right,
Beautiful. Yeah, a beautiful thing. A beautiful thing. And
like father, like son.
don't make me cry.
I,
Don't
I I won't make you cry until after the show.
All right.
I don't know what that meant. I'm
Love
going
you,
to say
sir.
goodnight, and
And
I'm going to tell the world as soon as I find my mouse, because I have to. Where'd my mouse go? Oh, there it is. I want to tell the world how much I love Larry Davis. This was a wonderful couple of hours, and I'll say goodnight because you're
love you
great.
right back, Trip. Thank you for a nice evening, wonderful evening.
Wasn't that nice?